Hi there YouTube, this is the Magnus, bringing you another Total War Warhammer online ladder battle. In this quick match, I decided to play as the Dwarfs. They seem popular with my viewers, and I've seen a lot of other channels covering them, and hell, they're fun to play. And I drew the Greenskins, which is their natural nemesis, so it should make for an interesting battle. Now, I brought 5 of the Longbeards, 3 of the Dwarf Warriors, 3 Quarrelers, 2 Gyrocopters with the Brimstone guns, 1 Thane, 2 Runesmiths, and Thorgrim. My opponent, we'll take a look at here, brings a pretty sizable army himself, about 882 guys, not too many, but a lot of units. He's got 1, 2, looks like 3 Black Orcs, mixed in with Orc Boys, of which there are, I believe, 3 as well. And that's correct. He also brings Orc Error Boys, which I thought was interesting, but a good choice because they can fend off Gyrocopters, so he's got 3 of those. So he's covered his bases there. He has an Orc Shaman, he has an Orc War Boss, and then on the far right here, he has Savage Orc Boar Boys, 2 of those, 3 of those, and 1 Goblin Big Boss with his cavalry. So I, again, broke convention here. No noob box, no dwarf box. I went with a long line of alternating Dwarf Warriors and Longbeards. I put my Quarrelers up front, and then my leaders in the back, as well as 2 Longbeards for dealing with any kind of flanking or just coming in with more specific targets than just whatever's across from them. So he has a hill advantage here, but thankfully he has no ranged, well, that is no artillery. So I'm going to go ahead and push with my Gyrocopters. And of course the target that jumps out at me that's large is his cavalry contingent, which he's also ranked up. So these guys are quite a considerable threat to my line, so I want to be on top of that as best I can. He's going to start to push up because, again, he has the terrain advantage here, and I'm the only one with some sort of artillery, which is these beautiful Gyrocopters. And I think Gyrocopters are a really cool thing to bring as the Dwarfs if you can use them properly. And the reason being is it gives you something to do before the engagement, because generally as the Dwarfs you get a pretty static gaming experience, but when you have the Gyrocopters you get to play around here. So you'll see I went after his guys, but he pulled over his archers, and I don't want to get my Gyrocopters shot down this early, so I'm going to keep pulling back, taking a shot here, taking a shot there, trying to take advantage of their maneuverability. And I'm just going to kind of cruise down his line here. You can see my attack orders, and he's going to move into the line of my Quarrelers. So the Quarrelers start to fire on his Orc Boys here, and I also drop some bombs from the Gyrocopter. Each of them has 2, so I'm going to make sure I use those. And of course a good target for them is going to be the Black Orcs, because they are also a very high threat unit to the Dwarfs, unless you happen to bring some exceptional infantry yourself. So he continues the close. However, his archers and some of his units, he seems like his micro's a little off, and he's got some people that aren't all coming at the same time. And of course I'm going to take advantage of this. Now I put my Quarrelers up front, as you probably saw me do in my video, I believe it was number 2 of my multiplayer guide. Putting the Quarrelers up front like that, and then having the infantry go ahead and charge through them, allows them to continue to shoot without interruption. Now unfortunately I didn't charge quite soon enough, so they get into my Quarrelers here a bit, so it's going to take me a little while to fix that. His cavalry is going to come in and really get into all of my units here. And you're going to see the Dwarfs, for whatever reason, are pretty low mass, and their formations seem to easily get broken, more than any other faction really. And I think as strong and broad and heavily armored these guys are, they really should have more mass to them. So I'm hoping that's something that's going to be addressed in a future patch, because I think that's important. But anyways, I'm firing into the back of his lines with the Brimstone guns. I'm kind of forcing in multiple infantry to fight his tougher infantry. On the right side, my guys are finally starting to reform. I'm pushing back Quarrelers anywhere I can, and pushing the infantry forward, using the Rune of Negation every chance I get, and keeping my runesmiths each on each of the flanks to kind of provide that leadership bonus. And then I have my Thane and my King towards the center so that they provide leadership buffs as well. And just going to slog it out as often as the case between the Dwarfs and the Greenskins. It's always a grudge match between these two, a bloody affair, lots of hand-to-hand fighting, and it makes for a fun matchup. I definitely believe that the Greenskins are a much stronger faction in their current state, but that doesn't mean the Dwarfs can't get it done. Now here I had my Thane attacking his Orc War Boss, but unfortunately he chases him all the way across the field, which, you know, he's going to eat a lot of arrows there. Thankfully, no armor piercing, so it's not going to completely annihilate him right away. A foot of Gork goes down. A lot of Dwarfs go flying. A lot of Dwarfs go dying. The magic debuff that the extra protection for magic that the Dwarfs have is much appreciated when Foot of Gorks are coming down on your lines. So a lot of his infantry is retreating. That's kind of a normal thing if you play the Greenskins, especially since he kind of engaged me piecemeal there. I think he got a little too concerned about the gyrocopters in the situation and overreacted, but that's always something we like to see. So he's going to bring in his Goblin Big Boss to try to tie up the center. On the right side, I've definitely regained control. My Quarrelers are now completely out of the engagements and firing in the center as well. And on the left flank, I won the early engagement, and now I'm pushing. Yes, you heard me right. Your eyes and ears do not deceive you. I am pushing and charging forward as the Dwarfs. Will it work out? Not sure, but I wanted to try it. I felt like I got away with forming a line. I got away with not bringing any artillery. And will I get away with being aggressive, or at least counter-aggressing as the Dwarfs? So I pushed these guys up on the left. The center, you'll see I was unable to kill his boss. These guys are pulling back, trying to chase off the cav that have been plaguing my lines for quite some time. Warlords are getting into position to fire at these reforming Orc boys, and they're also being chased by the Dwarf Warriors. Slowly but surely. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. So there they go. You're going to see the Quarrelers put in good work all throughout the battle. I was able, except for the initial charge, that is, I was able to keep them firing, which is a great thing. And when you look at the kind of damage they can do, you understand why. Just missed another foot of Gork, devastating. And doing a pretty good job of getting through their ammo. On the left, though, a lot of his stuff's reforming, it's coming together. And these Orc Air Boys, they are pretty good, especially for a missile unit, at fighting. You're going to see I'm having trouble putting them down. His Orc War Boss is still very much alive. His Goblin Big Boss is still very much alive. And somewhere that Shaman is, there he is. He's chasing my Thane off the field here for the time being. But on the right, I've completely annihilated his infantry, his cavalry, everything that he had. Gyrocopters are still putting in work. They're now out of ammo, so we're just going to charge them in to tie down his missile units. And you'll see they put away the bows and get out their choppas because they want to fight. And is the gyrocopter going to do a great job against them? No, but it's going to tie him down long enough for my infantry to get in. And what else are you going to do with a gyrocopter that doesn't have ammo or bombs? Might as well use it, right? And in the meantime, I'm firing into his other missiles here with the Quarrelers. And the Quarreler provides, I believe, a much better punch. So this is going to favor me, not to mention that I'm focus firing with 3 units. They're pretty quickly going to have had enough of that, and you're going to see they start to break. Over here, the left has been lost, but if you look at the power bar, things are going pretty heavy in my favor at this point because of what happened on the right was apparently more significant, and the fact that my missiles are firing away while his are being chopped to pieces by my Dwarfs. His Shaman's still alive, though, over in the corner. His boss is still alive for now, but we're trying to get after him. And nothing, few things can hang in there as well as they do, but he's in a bad way here. So gyrocopters attacking him, infantry attacking him, and he is going to bite the dust. No more boss for him. That's definitely going to negatively affect what little leadership his army had left. And that is going to be a win for the Dwarfs. So, let's recap. No Dwarf box, no artillery, and I even countercharged and counter-pursued my opponent. So, that's pretty darn cool to be able to pull that off as the Dwarfs, I think, against the Greenskins. Good game to my opponent. Let's take a look at how everybody did. The Longbeards did well, as they typically do. Dwarf Warriors were okay. This one did well. Quarrelers, great kills. Good job by the Gyrocopters. Not a ton of kills for them. I'd like to see more. But considering, you know, that they got to attack cavalry and black orcs, you really, because of their maneuverability, you get to choose your targets, which means you can get as much impact as possible. And one of them even chevroned up. So I'm not too displeased with this. The runesmiths did their job, which is primarily buffing. This guy stayed out of the fight. This one not so much. Thane was kind of disappointing, but we saw why. I kind of lost track of him on the field. And, you know, that happens. It's unfortunate, but it just means my micro needs to be better. Thorgrim did okay, and he stayed alive, so that's what we care about. My opponent, the Orc Boys, I didn't like that choice. I think he'd be much better off with Savage Orcs. The Black Orcs is always just ripped up Dwarfs. The Air Boys, not too successful. The Cavalry wasn't very successful, and his leaders didn't do a whole lot. But those couple of footed Gorks, I think it's not giving him the kills that he necessarily got in that fight. So it can be done. You can use the Dwarfs in a more conventional sense. I feel like sometimes people feel pressured to put them in a box, or they feel like they have to bring a bunch of artillery or the gimmicky units that really aren't cost effective. But you don't have to do that, as I think this fight demonstrates. So they're fun to play. Are they, you know, are they in need of a buff? Absolutely. Them and Chaos, I believe, are the two factions that are weakest at this time. But they're definitely fun to play, and you can win with them on the ladder. So anyways, until the next time, this is the Magnus. If you liked the video, please click that little thumbs up button down there. We love to see that. It shows your support, and it really helps the channel out. So does watching, and so does subscribing. So if you haven't yet, and you want to make sure you find out about all the videos put out, then just subscribe. There's one button for it. It doesn't cost you a dime. It takes you about a quarter of a second. So anyways, we'll see you soon.